Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing a pickups video, so showing off some stuff that I got over the past few weeks. For starters, we have a PlayStation 2 game. These are some things that I got at sort of like Goodwills and thrift stores here. Air Force Delta Strike. Took a complete chance on this. The main reason that I picked this up is because there's a Air Force Delta on the Dreamcast. And, I don't know how far I'm going to go down this road, but I am curious to kind of get some of the follow-ups to Dreamcast games that landed on other systems. Now, I don't even know if this is a follow-up to that. For all I know, it's, the same game, just like the PlayStation 2 version. I really haven't researched this at all, but it was like $3, and, it's by Konami. It's got some kind of sort of anime-looking character designs and stuff, and it looks like, just say like a 3D action sort of plane shooting game. I don't know if it's more simulation oriented or action oriented or what, but curious to check it out at any rate. Next up is unfortunately not in very good condition, but I couldn't really pass this up. This was also $3. Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. I got clued in recently that this might be a little bit sought after on the Xbox, and I just happened to see it there, and I was like, I'll go ahead and grab that. Unfortunately, it's not in the greatest of shape. I have it in one of these plastic, bags that I put my games in, so it might be a little hard to tell, but the box is pretty scratched up and kind of beaten up. And the game is not any better. Unfortunately, it's pretty scratched. So I'd like to get it resurfaced, but I used to know some places where you could get games resurfaced around here, even if it was maybe a little bit of a hike away. But now I have no idea. I'm not sure. I don't know where I could go to get that fixed up. But we'll see. I don't even have an Xbox right now that can play it, so I don't know. I mean, honestly, I won't lie, that's probably the kind of thing that I would try to maybe trade or resell. I don't do that a whole lot, but I don't know. I mean, with those kind of games, once I find out that something's a little bit sought after, I'm kind of like, well, why is that? Maybe it's a really good game. So then I do kind of want to check them out. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with that. But another cool thing I found this right at Goodwill. This is. I can't really tell from the cover, but Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. I had that upside down. And, I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I haven't really seen Vampire Hunter D. I've been wanting to. It's definitely on my list to check out, and it's one of those classics that I should have seen, and I know I have seen, like, parts of it before, but just nothing that I can really remember. It was never anything that I saw or that stuck with me that really, I really distinctly remember. So this one I'm sure must be some kind of a follow-up. So I don't really know. I have to research that a little bit, but really, it was really cool to get that for just a couple bucks. And another anime that I found, I just took a chance on. This is something that is not a really big commitment in terms of the series because it's a really short series. This is Zion, I Wish You Were Here. Now, this really strikes me as one of those things that came out in the anime boom, when, there was a whole, just too many things probably coming out. I mean, this was made in 2001, it looks like, and released in 2003 by ADV. It just kind of reeks of that time period, but it's a 4-episode OAV series, so it's not going to overstay its welcome. And I looked it up just to see what reviews were of it, and they seemed like they were like kind of mediocre, but like it might be worth checking out. So I figured for like $3, it wasn't a it was worth that just to see what it was like. So I actually watched this episode or this disc, and I'll talk more about it in my anime I watched video. But it was at least good enough to pick up the last and other disc in the series. This is the last 2 episodes of it. So I'm curious to see how that goes. This was, a little bit more than that one. I ordered it online, so it was like $10 with shipping. But, for $13 I got that whole little series, and I thought that was a reasonable deal. Next up, some more really, really cheap stuff here. I was scrounging around at GameStop, and a couple Wii games. These were literally $2 each. And, I won't lie, I actually picked up a couple of other, really bad, $2 video games that had nicer cases and swapped the cases out. So these ones now have nicer cases. But, the first one is Counterforce. This may very well be a bad game, but for, $2 or $4 with the replacement case, I figured, it's worth that much money for me to just find out for myself if it's any good. And, I just think it looks kind of cool. It looks like it has some promise, at least, even if, maybe it's a budget game or it's not, it's not the best thing in the world. If there's some fun to it, then it seems like it would be kind of cool. It's like, you're piloting a mech and it looks like sort of a 3D, shooter game. So, Counterforce. I want to give that one a whirl. I've actually been meaning to play it for the past couple days, and I just haven't. And this other one here, I kind of just got because it's an anime based game. I'm not a really big boxing fan, but this is something that Xseed released, Victorious Boxers Revolution. Again, it was $2, and I was just kind of like, for $2, I really should probably just pick that up. This is, based on Ashita no Jo. So just the fact that this even came out here at all, I think is pretty cool. And now I have one of the Ashita no Jo games for the Wii. So there's a new series of that, I think, simulcasting on Crunchyroll. So I'd like to check some of that out. I've never seen it. And next, some anime. This is a, kind of a modern classic that just absolutely blew me away when I saw it, and I've watched it a couple times. It's just so good. I've really wanted to have this on disc, and, it was honestly pretty pricey when it first came out. It's only a 12-episode series, and it was split between 2 sets, and each of those sets was not, cheap. I think, per episode you were spending quite a bit of money to get this, so I just never quite bid. But I ended up ordering Steiners Gate. This is a set of the whole series, and it's part of the Anime Classics series here from Funimation. And this was much more reasonably priced. In fact, I'm going to try to do a better job about this in the future, but yeah, I'd like to, if I find a really good deal like this, like to tweet it out to people that follow me on Twitter and that kind of thing, so that you guys can take advantage of this too. Because I didn't think about that until maybe a couple days after I got this, and at that point the price had gone back up. But honestly, I was going to pull the trigger, even when the price is, around what it is now. It should be more like, $40 or 40 something, which is totally worth it for this. But for one moment it dropped down to like $30 essentially. I think this was like 31 something, and so I just one click buy on that. Completely worth it at that price. It was a really good deal for the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Steiners Gate. That's a whole like 25 episode series. So that was actually now that I think of it, I don't know why I was calling this a 12 episode series. It is a 25 episode. So yeah, so that softens the blow of when this was 2 sets, but even then it was a little much. So anyway, really glad to have that, and some more really good deals that I got from Amazon. I guess I'm telling you about these now. You can probably still get these. The Mega Man collections here on PS2. These are new and sealed. These were about $15 each, and for that price, I thought that was a really good deal. And it's one of those things. I'm looking more at kind of arcade collections and some of these collections of just retro like 2D style games. I guess I'm getting back into like some of these fun 2D games, and I've never been a huge Mega Man fan, but I did play 1 or 2 of them back in the day. Back when they were contemporary on the NES, and I did like them quite a bit. I don't think I ever beat one of them, but I definitely, went through the whole thing, finished a bunch of the bosses, and all that stuff. So I do have, I have some fond memories of Mega Man, and this one has 10 Mega Man games on it. So hey, that's pretty cool. And this one is, Mega Man X. I never even played any of the X games once I got into that whole series. So there's 7 games on here. I figured I might as well just have these, and I don't know when I'll get around to playing them, but just you know, definitely kind of classic game series that I think are really cool to have collections of. Next up is SNK Arcade Classics 1. If you guys watched my previous video, you will have been introduced to this, you know that I picked this up. And this is, you know, again, something I just wanted to kind of check out some of these older games and grab one of these collections here. Now, I will say that I am kind of gearing up to be able to play some of this stuff with my X-Arcade stick. And I don't know, I should probably look into this a little bit more. I've been looking to kind of get more of these things on PlayStation 2 because I know that you know, PS2 is going to be fine kind of going out to like a regular CRT, and it's, you know, it's good, it works with my X-Arcade stick. But I don't know, I mean, maybe I should look into having some of these things digitally on the PS3. I don't know how the PS3 is for you know, sending a standard aspect ratio picture out to like the old CRT TVs. I don't know if it can do that or not, so maybe I'll look into that a little bit more. But anyway, for now I picked this up, and the star of this collection is easily Shock Troopers. I was honestly disappointed in some of the other stuff I tried on here, but Shock Troopers was worth the price of admission many times over for that. Very cool game. And next up, and thank you also for all of the people who you know, gave me suggestions on my last video, and if you haven't watched it, please watch my last video. I basically asked for some suggestions of console ports of arcade games. A lot of people, you know, recommended some of these collections here, Taito Legends being one of them, and you know, of course, I have my eye on these ones, kind of some of the low-hanging fruit here. So this seems like a great collection, in particular for Raston. Really cool arcade game. This has like Operation Wolf on it, and one of my favorites, Space Gun. That's a light gun shooter that I really liked playing in the arcades. I have good memories of playing that. And unfortunately, you know, I don't think this works with any of the like gun cons that work with PS2 or anything like that, so that's kind of a bummer, but some cool stuff on here. Bubble Bobble, Space Invaders, you know, I don't really think you can go too wrong with that. Next is actually something for the Xbox 360 that some various people on YouTube have recommended, you know, that I follow, and this is a very interesting game. I tried this out. It's called WarTech, Senko no Ronde, I believe. And just very interesting. I mean, this was published by Ubisoft, and I think that this was kind of a budget title when it came out. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, and honestly, you know, this it feels a bit like an anachronism. It's kind of a game out of its time, it feels like. It reminds me a bit of some of the sort of 2D versus fighter game experiments that you had more back in the day, things like Psychic Force, or even the Rosen Maiden games on the PlayStation 2, where you know, you have the characters that are sort of floating and flying in 3D space more. This one is, it's almost like you're playing ships from a shoot 'em up. And they can even sort of turn into boss mode, and then you're sort of like 2D versus fighting like you know, shmup bosses against each other, kind of. It's a very unique and interesting concept, but I was kind of surprised by how sort of missing any, like, the story mode was, like, in terms of there really didn't seem to be any kind of story to it, and I think that you know, modern versus fighters, even, like, I think starting to expect a little more story and a little more modes to them, just a little more depth in terms of that sort of thing. And I don't know if this really has it. I played this for like 15 minutes or something, and I was like, okay, you know, it's a little challenging too. Actually, I ended up I'm going to struggle a little bit to get through the first couple battles. So, very intriguing, a very interesting game, and kudos to Ubisoft and Geo Revolution. Ubisoft for publishing this here, and Geo Revolution for doing something unique. So, curious to check out more of that. Not quite what I was expecting, but a very unique game nonetheless. Next up is something I wasn't really sure about getting, and I ended up pulling the trigger on this because, honestly, Crunchyroll sends out a newsletter, and it just, every so often they have some sort of good deal that I just feel like I can't really pass up. And honestly, this may have been about the same price that you get it anywhere for, but I saw this pop up, and I'm just like, I'll bite. And that is Tears to Tiara 2. You guys might remember, if you watch my videos, or if you haven't, I will let you know that I have the original game for this. It was a Japanese-only release, and I was pretty excited about it when it first came out. It was, it's a strategy RPG, has, cool anime character designs. It's actually based on a kind of a galge, eroge, and, of course, console version is doesn't have any sort of, like, adult content in it or anything. But it just seemed interesting in terms of, the characters and the story and the battle system. And it turned out that pretty much all of those things I didn't really like in the first one. So that's why I was pretty on the fence about the sequel. I think what sold me on this, though, was that I was thinking about the Neptunia series. And, if I had played the first one and then just written the entire series off and never tried Neptunia Mark II, I not only would have missed, a follow-up that fixed, pretty much all the problems with the first game and was really good, but pretty much one of my favorite video games ever, at this point, I think. It really kicked off a love affair, for me with that series, and I still think it's the best game in the series. So I have a little hope for Tears to Tiara 2 that, maybe it is, a big improvement on the first one. It also came with this little visual, works, art book. I'm not going to open it up because I've put it in a little plastic thing here, but I don't know if this was like a special edition that came with this, or if this comes with all the versions or whatever, but anyway, there's that. And additionally, it came with just a mystery bonus, which happened to be like a crummy PSP sports game, but the nice thing was it was new and it had a nice box, so I actually threw the sports game out and basically used the box to replace one of my ones that was in not a good box, so that was cool. Finally here, just a couple last things. So a new purchase, a new PlayStation 4 game. This is Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls, and it comes with the original. Basically, this is the all-in-one version of the latest Diablo for PlayStation 4. Diablo is not the kind of it's not really a series that I've been into before. And I think the main issue that I had with the first one is that it just seemed like a not any better, in fact, probably worse version of other games that were out at the time. I almost think it was out around the same time like the Neverwinter Nights games were, but even if it wasn't that, at the very least, the other sort of BioShock, like Forgotten Realms, D&D style games, and in comparison to those, it just seemed kind of lame and not as good. One of my friends played it, and he wasn't completely blown away by it either, but I think he enjoyed the gameplay. I tried it out, and I was just like, it just didn't really grab me all that much. So, I haven't really been interested in the sequels a lot either, but I picked this up because some of my friends are playing it, and, I kind of got too stressed out to keep playing Destiny, so I kind of wanted to play this with those friends, because it's actually fun, playing games online with your buddies. And the other thing was, I started thinking about this more like Gauntlet, especially Gauntlet Legends, which I've had a lot of fun playing in the past with friends, kind of doing couch co-op. tons of fun, Gauntlet Legends, and that sort of series. So, you know, if this sort of fills that niche in modern gaming, I think that this is, you know, this actually has a real place, because, you know, I feel like nothing is really filling that niche right now. So if I think about it like that, I'm hoping that I will really enjoy Diablo 3. And finally here, my other big purchase, a lot of pink here, is Sailor Moon, the Blu-ray and DVD box set collection here. This is just the first part of Season 1, so they kind of split it up. There's a little kind of cardboard spacer in there so that you can put the second part of Season 1 in there when you buy it later on. And, you know, I feel like kind of a sucker for this a little bit, but you know, I haven't been like a huge Sailor Moon fan, but I've always kind of liked it. You know, I think it's one of those shoujo shows that you know, and I've watched some shoujo stuff that's, you know, that's really good. It's not like something I'm ashamed of, but I think this really straddles that like shoujo shonen line a little bit, because it is so action oriented. You know, it does have this team of almost Power Rangers style, you know, girls, and, you know, and they're kind of, you know, they kind of have these sexy outfits, and they fight, you know, villains. It's sort of action oriented, and at the same time being really, you know, kind of girly and fun for, I think, you know, kind of both genders and a lot of different kinds of people, kids and adults and everything. It has a lot of mass appeal. So yeah, you know, Sailor Moon, I could not pass up them, you know, releasing the old original series, and my intention is to just follow it along as they release them, to just pick them all up, so I'll have the whole thing. And they even did a new dub for this, which is kind of a big deal, so I'm really curious to hear how that sounds. And anyway, just excited to have all of this stuff. Just, again, a whole bunch of really cool things here. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you'll join me again for more video game and anime related videos. Thanks for watching.